To solve this by substitution, you want to plug one equation into the other. And in the end, we're trying to find x. So it looks like this equation is probably the easiest to plug in, because this equals x. And so I go to the other equation and replace x with 3y minus 4. So we write the 3 blank for x plus 2y equals negative 2. And then to solve it, or not solve it, we're going to plug the 3y minus 4 in, because for this we're replacing the x with this. And now we solve for y. So bam, bam, that's 12y minus 16 plus 2y. And from there we solve for x. So these two combine and give us 14y. So got the negative 16 around in this. Add the 16 over. And you have 14y equals, looks like 14. So 14 times what is 14? Well, if you divide it over, you'll notice it's 1. Is that what we're asking for? No, it wants x. So to find it, we have to plug it into one of these two. Let's plug it into this one since it's probably the easiest. So x equals 3 times blank equals 4. That blank, we're going to plug the 1 in. This equation, we plugged 1 right there. When you do that, you get 3 minus 4, which is negative 1. So x equals negative 1. And if you want to write it as a coordinate, it would be negative 1 comma 1. But this one's asked for x, specifically asked for x. But the coordinate just for other types of problems is that. That's called substitution. Now elimination is another method where you line up the x's and y's and try to cancel. And then once we do that, once we find x and y, we add them for this particular problem. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to say, okay, look at the x's. I have an x here, and I have a negative 3x here. What do I have to multiply this by to cancel with that 3x? Well, you want a positive 3x to cancel. Or what can I multiply, what negative 2 and 3, what would those two to cancel? Wouldn't 3 and 2 be 6? So you want to change that to a 6 and that to a 6? Now, in my mind, the easiest would be to attack the x's. That seems easier to cancel than the y's. Because to do the y's, you have to multiply both equations. To get rid of the x, you just multiply the first. So what we do is we're going to multiply to get rid of this 3x. We're going to change this into a 3x. So that becomes 3x positive. That becomes a negative 6y. And 3 times 6 is 18. These cancel, leaving you negative 3y equals, looks like 24. And when you divide by 3, or negative 3, sorry, you get y equals negative 8. Are we done? No. We need to now find x, because you need both of them. And looking at these two, can most of you see this one's probably easier to plug y back into? I'm simply going to plug y right there. You get x minus 2 times negative 8 equals 6. Negative 2 times negative 6 is positive 16. And when you minus the 16 over, you get x equals negative 10. Now, the answer for the coordinate is negative 10, negative 8. That's actually your coordinate, but is it asking for the coordinate? No, it's asking you to add those two values. So your answer is negative 10 plus negative 8, which is negative 18. So make sure you read the question and answer what it says. Yes, this is the answer as a coordinate, this is the solution, but it wants you to do something with the solution for this particular answer. So elimination and substitution. This last one, you can use substitution or elimination. Either way, you just got to look at it and make a choice. So since this one's y equals, I think the best choice would be just a simple substitute. that looks like the best opportunity, or best option. So we got 9x minus 3 times blank equals 3. And it looks like in the blank, it looks like we're putting the 3x minus 1. Then you distribute. That leaves you a negative 9x. That leaves you a plus 3. These two are going to cancel each other, leaving you 3 equals 3. So whenever everything cancels out, the answer is either infinite solutions or no solutions. What's left is a true statement. Since this is true, that means my answer is actually infinite solutions. Again, if this was like 3 equals 8, it'd be no solutions. If, for this particular problem, if your variables, let's say these didn't cancel out, and you're left with like 9x minus 8x, and you actually have an x left over, that means it's one solution, like these two. These are one solution. So it could also be one solution, which means the variables didn't drop out. So infinite, no solutions, or one solution. This one was infinite solutions.